good morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and I've already been up for 4 hours, as you can probably see. This is a silly time to be up on a Saturday morning, as most of you would probably think as soon as you saw the start of this video. I'm hoping that most of you are having a much more relaxing morning than I am. I am currently on the edge of the North York Moors. I've just driven over from Manchester this morning to get here because I am taking part in a relay race as part of the Hardmoors 160 run. The Hardmoors 160 is, as the name would suggest, organised by the Hardmoors running team. Hardmoors race team, sorry, who set up a series of races in the North York Moors, hence the name, which are very hard, also hence the name. The 160 is the kind of their peak race. It's a 160-mile circular route which basically encompasses the North York Moors. It takes in all sorts of different terrain, all sorts of different sort of underfoot conditions, from boggy fields and things like that through to beaches and pretty hard, rough, gritty trails all the way up to the actual moors themselves, up into the hills and where it gets a bit tricky, sort of a bit more technical up there. So really tough stuff. There are people who do this in one go, 160 miles straight off. They do it, they have a 50-hour time limit, and they literally, most of them don't sleep for that entire time. They just go through both nights. I helped somebody out, a couple of guys out on this last year, did a bit of support for them, and when it came around to it this year again, one of the guys who unfortunately couldn't get round last year asked if I'd be interested in helping out. He runs a charitable group up on Teesside called BCT Aspire, which is a youth group basically trying to encourage kids or give them things to do that, you know, keep them out of trouble, give them something to aspire to. Involves a lot of music. They've got a Duke of Edinburgh's Award team set up there as well. And he asked if I would take part as part of a relay team, basically a team of runners who are all sort of running in support of that. Obviously I said yes, otherwise I wouldn't be here. Between, I think there's 6 of us, we're going to be running the 160 miles, but we're also kind of doing it alongside Paul himself, so that we can run as his kind of support crew, if you like, egging him on and keeping him going. So my plan over the next couple of days is to run, I think it's about 35 miles today, something like that. Then I'll crash out in my car, just there. It's not exactly a camper van, but you know, it's got an airbed in the back of it, so hopefully I'll get some sleep, and then run the last sort of 30 miles or so with them, with the guys, into the finish tomorrow. Yeah, well, we're just over an hour in. It's after 12. I mean, I didn't get started until quite a long time after I'd arrived back at Ravenscar. The guys are doing okay, they're doing really well. So I've taken over the relay leg, and Paul, who is just over there going up the hill, is running the full 160. He's got a bit of digestive discomfort, let's put it that way. It's inevitable when you've gone this sort of far. He's done sort of 75 miles, something like that now, about 85 miles left to go, so it's a lot better that he tries to sort himself out now rather than push it on too far and get too uncomfortable. So we're just having a little bit of a break, going at about the speed that he wants to go at. That's the main thing, really. I'm really here to support him, so fingers crossed we continue at this sort of rate. We are about 9 or 10 miles from Sands End, which is the next big checkpoint. Apparently there'll be bacon butties there, which would be nice, but yeah, we'll tick along, and I'll catch up with you when we get there, I imagine. Okay, well, it's about 10 to 4. Been running with Paul for about 14 miles or so. He's got a few niggles, a few little problems, got a bit of pain in his foot. He's had some, as I said in the last video, a bit of digestive problems, but he's doing all right. He's not doing too badly. We're just having a break. We're at Sands End. He's having about a 20-minute power nap because he didn't get any sleep at all last night, obviously. So he's having to lie down, and then we're going to crack on from here. From here it's about 17 miles up to Saltburn. That's where I'm going to be dropping out for the night, probably. That's what I'm thinking anyway. That's certainly my plan. Hopefully I'll be able to update you on the way. It looks like we might have 1 or 2 extra people with us. Looks like Tony the Fridge is coming along, anyone who who follows running or follows Geordies in general will know about Tony the Fridge. He's a bit of a legend, so it's really good to have him coming along and a couple of others by the looks of things. So should G Paul up a little bit. You know, I've been doing my best, but it's not always easy to keep someone going who's exhausted. So it's all good. We'll get cracking soon, and yeah, I'll get back in touch. Good evening. It's about 5 to 6 in the evening, as you can see. Pretty stunning, gorgeous evening. Not a bad place to be. As you can see behind me, the boys coming in, walking a bit. Tony busy doing his publicity with Paul. We're doing all right. We've cracked quite a lot of miles out since Sands End. Paul seemed to wake up, and I don't know quite what he'd taken before he lay down, but Jesus Christ, it kicked in. I was struggling to keep up at one point, but we're doing good. It's about another 10.5 miles from here to the point where I'm dropping out for the night, as far as I can work out. The boys will carry on. I don't want to run in the dark. So I'll probably dial in when we get there, maybe a little bit before if we get some more pretty views. Cheers. All right, 8:30, sun's going down. Strawberry is on. Sun's going down over there. It's very pretty. We are about, I reckon, a mile outside Saltburn, which is where I kind of probably going to cut out for the night. Well, not for the whole night, but for a few miles. Everyone's still going very well. Looks like we are pretty much on schedule with what was predicted, and certainly a mile ahead of any cut-offs or anything like that. So Paul's doing well. He's got a bit of IT band issue, so a little bit of pain in his knees, but looks fairly manageable. So yeah, we're just going to crack on, get ourselves in there, and I'm looking forward to a pot noodle and a lie down. Cheers. Well, good evening. It's about 10:30, I think, at night, and I got to Saltburn with Paul. Got him there, which was great. Sort of not in quite as quick a time as I'd hoped that we'd be getting at that sort of pace, but sort of that period of time. But to be fair, given that he's run 100 miles, I think he's doing amazingly well, well inside the cutoff. So that's really good. I don't see any issue as long as they keep going well tonight, during the night while I'm not there, which I'm sure they will. They know the area a lot better. This sort of bit they run around a lot, so that's really good. Obviously it's dark now, not obviously on video because I've got a light on, but it's pitch black outside, so they've got their head torches on and stuff, which is going to slow them down a bit. It's inevitable, you know, you don't want to run fast when you've got a torch out. Good morning. It's about 5:15 in the morning, and I've had a reasonable sleep actually. It's not been too bad. Yeah, I don't think I'd rate it as my best sleep ever, but it's not been too bad. I think exhaustion does that to you to an extent. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a better tour now that it's getting light of my my facility that I have here. So as you can see, there's the front of the car. I am laying on an airbed in the back of the car, which stretches through. I mean, look at this. This is amazing. I have my own bedside table just here, and a nice warm cubby hole where my feet are. Tell you what though, it's done me proud last night. It really has. Not a bad little facility at all. I'm now going to go through the process of converting it, obviously, into its daytime mode, which will include getting the stove out and getting some breakfast on. I think that's about it, really. The guys seem to be doing okay. I'm guessing they're probably not going to be here till sort of half 8ish, maybe 9, which means we're really going to have to kind of push the last 30 miles just to make sure that we keep it going, keep Paul going, really. But that's fine. I always knew that we might have to be pushing a little bit on that last bit. As long as he's okay with getting annoyed with me, we'll be all right. Cheers. Okay, we're 140 miles in, 145 miles into a 160 mile race, and I'm having to run to catch up with that man. This man, who was only taking anger this morning as his only motivation to keep going. We've got about 15 miles to go. In about 16 maybe. In about 5 or 6 miles, he's going to get a new victim to abuse for the final 10. Other than the man at the front, who's been taking it valiantly from behind. Catch you at the finish. Well, it's the morning after the day before. Sorry I didn't do an update last night when we finished. Well, it wasn't last night, it was about 4:30 yesterday when we finished, but things all got a bit sort of tied up with getting trophies and t-shirts and medals and all those sorts of things. And then I had the fun drive home from Yorkshire back to Manchester to contend with, so I got a little bit tied up with other things. Suffice it to say, we made it, all of us. The relay team managed to come in first relay team. We were behind by about probably about 5 miles behind the leading relay team at the final checkpoint. There was 10 miles to go. So Paul decided that he would unleash us to see what we could do. We'd been running with him the whole way as support as well as a relay team. But he decided to see what would happen if he let us go. So myself and Reese basically pinged it through the last 9-10 miles, overtook the other relay team about 3 miles from the finish, 2 or 3 miles from the finish, and managed to make it in and get the trophy, which is fantastic. Then Paul made it in just under an hour later, and just absolutely inspirational. If I could, sum up this weekend, it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing just to watch somebody go through an enormous amount. He really has. He didn't manage to complete it last year, and I know from my own DNF at an ultra in June what that can do to you and how much it can sort of prey on your mind. And he was determined this year to break the back of it and to break this challenge. He did an amazing job. He went through periods where he was in physical pain. I think he was probably in physical pain probably from about mile 60 one way or another. I think anyone would be, but specific sort of muscle tightnesses and things like that were really bothering him. He went through a lot of dark periods, which is inevitable. We know that whenever you're running an ultra marathon or even a marathon, really, you go through high and low points all the way around, and you kind of have to ride them. But he did an absolutely amazing job of that. He made it, like I say, that's the main thing. But he made it well under the cutoff, and he's ecstatic, I think, frankly. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to pull this lot together and get it uploaded so that Paul can use it if he wants to. But it's been an absolute privilege this weekend running with him, and we're running with the rest of the relay team. Absolutely brilliant group of lads. Fantastic support from Jason, who was at every single checkpoint with the van, with everything in it. The guy is an absolute trooper. There's no way you can do an event like that without really good support behind you, and he proved himself to be an absolute star. So thank you to everyone who helped out. I'm having a bit of a day of rest today, and then back to work for sort of normality tomorrow.